need people who are educated for the development of this country. And when we came after the independence, comrade, our founding father, Sam Nujoma, he didn't first settle for less. Here we got a Polytechnic of Namibia. But what he did, now we have a University of Namibia. Why I say he didn't settle for less? Because in exile we were having a United Nations Institute for Namibia. Why should we have a college? He never settled for less. Dr. Sam Nujoma was an icon. And this is his legacy is a legacy we have to emulate. We know that. Here in Namibia, we can attest with me that after the independence, and even now, the product he produced in exile, it is still a living testimony. It's when it comes to education and when it comes to everything. The product he produced at the United Nations Institute for Namibia, we can see, even in the legal fraternity, all who are now judges. We have produced engineers, pilots. We can see one of them is sitting with you there, Mr. Mshima. He's my colleague. And apart from that, myself, I'm a product of that. I'm an engineer who have built 3 vessels in Namibia. And that is the legacy of our founding father. Our founding father's legacy should remain and should remain in the heart of the Namibian, should remain in the heart of our children. Let us emulate his legacy. He has left us his legacy. He has left us a foundation we have to build. And for us who are remaining, let us imitate his legacy. I know that people may say people may say, and some they used to say, no, you people from the exile, you didn't bring anything. But we can boldly say that we had a leader with a real vision, and the vision is a development of what we are having now. In addition to that, he had a passion in agriculture. While he was in power, we could see this green scheme in Okavango. We could see how they were flourishing. But now, let us see what is there. But I'm advising that for us who have remained, let us emulate what the founding father have put, or the foundation he have left. I salute you, my founding father, my father, the icon of the Namibian independence. May his laws, maybe his soul, rest in eternal peace. Go well, our father. Go well, our mentor. We shall meet in eternity. I thank you.
Thank you very much. With no doubt, if there was an instrument to measure the undying spirit of the late founding father, one will definitely find it the highest one will find among the veterans. The next item, as you might have noticed, so this is the message from the family. There's no name on the program. Personally, before I confirmed with protocol, I was having a name in mind. Only upon that confirmation, I received exactly the same name that I wanted to invite by surprise. Comrade Asino Natangwe, could you please come to the podium to deliver the message on behalf of the Nujoma and Kondombolo family?
Thank you very much, Comrade Master of Ceremonies, Comrade Patrick Haigura, Comrade Nangoro Bumba, President of the Republic of Namibia, represented by Comrade Albert Kawana, Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration and Prison Services, Comrade Memewetu Dr. Netumbo Nandi Daitwa, Vice President and President-elect, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Comrade Sarah Uwangerwa, also all of them in absentia, Comrade Bonafatius Wakudumo, Governor of Kavango region, where we are based, Kuku Kovambo, Nujoma, Tatikuriskia, Miulia, Tatikurunoa, Highness, the regional leadership of the Kavangos, Highness and esteemed traditional authorities, spiritual leaders, the crowd, the masses of Kavango who are present here, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, I'm greatly honored to be given this opportunity to say a few words on behalf of the Nujoma family, both at Nujoma side and at Kondombolo side. First and foremost, I would like to extend great appreciation to Comrade President Nangoro Mbumba for conferring Hero's Honor on my uncle, Dr. Sam Shafiishuna Nujoma. Also doing so, I am sure, it was done in consultation with members of the cabinet and officials who are heading this program. We greatly appreciate this honor conferred on Tatekuru as a show of his achievement, his contribution that he has made to have brought festival and contributed to Namibian independence. And also after having taken office for the 15 years as a president, and the first president of the Republic of Namibia for the contribution that he has made. We, as a family, cannot express enough the gratitude for such a gesture that has been conferred on Tatekuru. We have been witnessing many people who have been flocking to the roads to come and pay tribute to Tatekuru, starting from Omsati region, where we had a memorial at Etunda, which we did not expect that we would be given such an opportunity to honor Tatekuru and to bid farewell. The same crowds that we saw along the roads coming to Ahangwena, in Oshana, coming now to Kavango as of today, is where I saw people who have stood on the road in the rains also bidding farewell to Tatekuru. We cannot say thank you enough. We say thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we will keep thanking you. I believe that the character of a person is built during the early years when one develops, perhaps from the ages of 3 years, 2 years, up to 7, 8 years. Tatekuru grew up in a loving family, in a responsible family. Of Tatekuru, Daniel, Nujoma, and Kukuhel Vikondoboro. I can imagine how he was brought up, how his character was built, and I believe that those are formidable years of his life, where he might have developed much of the attribute that have led him and helped him and have contributed to the achievement that he made throughout his life. Tatekuru was born in a village like all of us, in the house where he grew up. As it was being mentioned or has been mentioned, he carried out household chores like all other boys and also girls. And those household chores he was carrying out, when one hears the story that especially our mother, Meme, the late Sophia Asino, tells, Tatekuru was a bit more extraordinary. During the rain season, like this one, I think towards the end of the 40s and early 50s, and in the 50s, there used to be much rain than it is now. That is now in our areas, in the northern part, in the western northern part. So we used to have a lot of birds, these birds, all kinds of them that used to flock, which I only see in the Kavango Delta in Botswana, coming in heaps. And all the time, my mother would tell us that they were never short of food, and especially those birds, which were not so easy also to capture. He would call on once he's coming while he is very far, that they should start putting fire so that they can come and cook those birds. Tatekuru was looking after the cattle, looking after the herds, and when one also hears about how he had looked after those birds, after the cattle, after the herds. It was not an easy task because I think there are some times when the rain was also not falling. And there used to be drought. Now those cattle used to be driven from home. That is now in Etunda, far away, into Ukwambi area, from Ngajera area, by foot. So the walk would be from evening time to the next days in the afternoons by foot. Tatekuru would himself explain that the cattle are normally, we would have different types. Of course, we have bulls, you have oxen, you have cows with calves. Towards the evening time, he would be given a stick of wood with fire. And he would walk with the cattle. Once he started walking, the cattle will align themselves. Those with calves will be in front, then the oxen, then the bulls behind, and they will follow him throughout the night. And this is where he had walked through lions, elephants, and all kinds of dangers. And he would be told that he cannot allow the wood fire to go off. Once the wood fire goes off, of course the lions will eat both the cattle and himself. And he had carried those tasks many, many times. He had walked those journeys many, many times. He had a lot of stories that he tells once when he was a boy, where he had endured a life of hard. We went to bed, and I had not slept when she is continuing telling the story. And she would pray, she knows the family, she could narrate stories. I consider her to have also had a significant contribution in building the character of Tatekuru to be the way he was. Same as Tatekuru Daniel, who was very skillful. He used to make, of course, bows and arrows, spears, himself with his own hands, shoes from the skins of but very nice, beautiful ones. And he did not have hesitation to order, to tell, to ensure that the tasks at home are carried out the way he wanted them to be carried out. So the two of them, my grandmother and my grandfather, had a huge role to play in building the character of Tatekuru, the way I had witnessed when I was a child, also in that household. The family of Tatekuru, I also give gratitude for supporting Tatekuru throughout the time that Tatekuru was in exile and also when he came back from exile. I know that a lot of the members, and all of the members, I don't know so many of them, but those that I know during my time, they have supported and thrown their weight behind Tatekuru, even during that time when we were confronted by the South African regime, the Makakunyas, the Boas, who used to come and harass the family. The family was always in danger. As children growing up, we knew our place. We knew where we needed to move very fast for us to survive. A lot of people in the area would caution, and they would tell you that because you are a nephew of Sam Nujoma, you need to be out of here. A lot of, during the late 70s, when the struggle intensified in the northern part, we used to go to the gatherings during the night, of course, where people now used to talk and to hear about the plans and to be informed about the plans of Swapo, what the planned combatants are there to do, for them also to gain support and also to motivate people to carry on with a struggle. We were specifically told not to go there. If you are seen there, you are told that, no, you cannot be here, you need to move, because you are going to put yourself and your family in danger. So a lot of the family members adheres, they never gave up. They supported physically, especially here at home. I'm talking about inside Namibia. The planned combatants who used to come, the planned combatants specifically used also to come from Tatekuru. Sometimes we got information that were coming from Tatekuru. In our house, there used to be a photo that came from Tatekuru. It's a very beautiful photo which you used to hide in the baskets, in Mahangu baskets, in the house. That is now all, we will bury it, because if it's seen, then it will mean that we will be in trouble. Tatekuru have a story, and some of the story perhaps I can share. That is the story of Kwitokwa Navari. And I'm sure that the historians will also be alluding to this story and put it in proper perspective. Tatekuru have been saying, whenever one goes to the table, sits, and then eating at breakfast or lunch, sometimes dinner, that at the time when Kwitokwa Navari started, it was when the Boers in South Africa were getting tired, and they were concerned about their sons dying all the time and not coming back once they come to Namibia for fighting. So they became impatient. The world was changing quite very fast, where we had Soviet Union changing also. So the Boers had decided that they will invade Angola, and Tatekuru managed, as a party or a Swapo, to have gotten inside information about how the movements would be. So he flew to Cuba, to Castro, explained to Castro. Castro bought into the story, and then asked Tatekuru to go to Raul, who was the commander of the armed forces of Cuba. Then they decided that they are going to confront and not to let Angola fall. After that explanation, it's a lengthy explanation that Tatekuru was giving, how they spoke with Castro, Fidel Castro, about the danger that was lurking now in Southern Africa from the South African regime. If the South African regime had succeeded that time and overthrown Angola, it will mean that as we speak now, Namibia will not be independent. With that information, the Cuban forces were deployed in Angola without so many people knowing that they are being deployed. And this is how the war in Kwitokwa Navari was won. For us to have gained independence, it is because the war was won. South African forces were defeated decisively in Angola. It was not on their own volition that they decided to comply to 435 for elections to be held. It's because they were forced, because they were decisively defeated. Tatekuru, same Shafiishuna Nujoma, we have heard and we are convinced as a family that indeed he is a hero. A hero for Namibia, a hero in Africa, a global hero, an icon. In many ways, it has been expressed, it has referred to with so many, from so many angles, from so many directions. At Etunda, and also in Ohangwena yesterday, at Enhana, we as a family were moved by the reactions and by the planned combatants, the former planned combatants, who were mourning and bidding farewell to their commander of plan, Shafiishuna Nujoma. They came in huge number there at Etunda, huge numbers. Some of them did not know that the others are alive. They had met or they have departed, they only saw each other last times, sometimes during the battles that were being fought in Angola. And when they were talking and they saw each other, one could see that there were some of them who were in tears, asking, "Are you alive? I didn't know that you were alive. I didn't know that you survived that battle." And they paid homage, they bid farewell, and I could see on their expressions and in their talks that they were happy, they were satisfied to have come and for the Republic of Namibia to have given the opportunity for them to bid farewell to Tatekuru in the settings where they are or where they were. It is also what I'm witnessing here, that you have planned combatants who are passionate about giving and bidding farewell to Tatekuru. I was listening to Tatekuru, King of Ondonga, yesterday, talking about how planned combatants, how men and women, young ones, especially that time, who were so loyal to the cause of Namibia, to the independence of Namibia, determined that they adhered to the commands of Tatekuru. And despite the dangers, being told and knowing that they face danger of dying, they faced fire, they forged ahead. They never looked back. Of course, a lot of them laid down their arms. Laid down their arms while others continued. While others are falling, the others are continuing. It was because of the inspirations, of the loyalty that they had and respect that they had for Tatekuru Nujoma. Tatekuru, when giving commands, as we watched also on videos, it was inspirational, and you wanted already to pick up an AK and run to the front, despite the dangers. The combatants protecting Tatekuru throughout all the years of the liberation struggle, with those who were at the high hierarchies, at the leadership level, at all stratas of the party. They did so with courage, with their own lives. They faced danger, but despite, they were determined that they would protect Nujoma, whom they considered to be their leader, to lead them to a free Namibia. We cannot also, as a family, appreciate and give enough gratitude to the planned combatants, and all of those who protected Tatekuru throughout his life, throughout the years, especially those dangerous years, who never gave information and who never allowed for enemies to have a chance to harm Tatekuru. Tatekuru, I know, was also waging a struggle along with others, determined for independence, not also necessarily looking after himself. He faced the danger and knew the dangers that he faced. He was never afraid of facing the enemy, even here at the front, close perhaps even here to Kavango regions, and all other places where the battles were taking place. I met Tatekuru first time in Austria, Vienna. There was a UN conference for immediate independence of Namibia. I knew him only to be the same Nujoma who is the president of the Swapo, and never really consider him to say that he's an uncle as such, like all others all my other uncles. So to me, as I was listening also to my cousin, Utoni, yesterday in Ohangwena, who spoke eloquently about his involvement in the struggle, in the armed liberation struggle, Tatekuru, for all of us, even after independence, never favored anyone, but treated us all same as all other people. All children, whatever age one may be, Tatekuru treated us all the same. What I also can say about Tatekuru is very intelligent. That intelligence I also saw in Kuku. He has a graphic memory. He can remember things from the littlest age, and he will tell those things at his eldest age when he could remember. That also helped him and helped the struggle, because he happened to be an eloquent speaker who knew which way and what is it that he could do to attract assistance from wherever assistance could come from. That is to say, when I met him now in Austria, there were guests who were assisting him and wanted him to assist. I happened to be in a hotel when they were going to the conference. That time I traveled with a train for a long distance and I was very, very sleepy. But when they came back from the conference, he had gifts of a springboks, pegs, skins. And I was sent to get those skins from the room. Yeah, when I brought the skin, I just brought the whole bunch of skins. It's the first time, also when the first time that of course I was meeting Tatekuru, but it's also the first time that I heard Tatekuru shouting in a thunderous voice, "Why do you bring all the pegs out? Take only one. You can see that it's only one person here." So I quickly turned around and took one, brought it, and it was given now to the person who came there for a visit at that time. So the tenacity Tatekuru could command, Tatekuru had a lot of attributes that a lot of us do not have. Yes. Yeah, I'm coming. So I would like just to say, with perhaps that which I have mentioned, that I know that we are mourning a hero, and I believe that as a family we would like to see the legacy of Tatekuru being continued by way of us continuing and picking up on his ideas, his achievements in terms of development of our country, in terms of advancing Namibia in all sectors, and this was mentioned by many speakers that have spoken already even before when we come here in Umsati and in Wangwena. What I would like also to say is that Namibia, as Namibia, we should be brave and not be apologetic about exploiting our resources for the benefit of us as Namibian, for our children to have a future. So with these few words, I again would like to extend profound appreciation to the government and the people of the Republic of Namibia for sending off Tatekuru in a true hero's farewell. Tatekuru, rest in peace. Tatekuru, we'll miss you. Tatekuru, we will follow, and we will try to follow in your footsteps where and when it's possible, as I know that it's not an easy task. Thank you very much again, and let us continue with a celebration of Tatekuru's life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brother Sino, for that very important message from the Nujoma and Kondombolo family. I think so far, so good. We are cruising nice through our program. The next item on the program is the message from Professor Joseph Disho, the Namibian academic and scholar. Pro Disho.
I see. Goodbye. I will come back with independence. Ring the words that were spoken by Samuel, Shafiishuna, Daniel, Nujoma. In a very uncertain moment, trying to cross the border between Southwest Africa and Bechuanaland. At the behest of the Overherero Chiefs Council, under a very astute leadership of Ombara Hosea Kutako, who facilitated that an unknown person to Sam Nujoma at the time, Ludwig Stanley, would smuggle that the Guru Nujoma out of Southwest Africa into Bechuanaland. Distinguished mourners, government representatives, friends, family, Concerned Namibians, permit me to abide by the protocol so duly established. We are summoned this day by our collective grief, beckoned by a national agony of death. And we realize that the hand that holds the master key has once again turned that key clockwise and withdrew from amongst us a very illustrious son of the soil who had a big dream, who walked ahead of the nation that was not yet born, exemplified and epitomized courage at times when it was not easy to think ahead, plan ahead, and have the rectitude, fortitude to love and think for others. The providence of the hand of God has removed from amongst us Tatekuru Nujoma, whom we are funeralizing today. In the providence of God, there are people who come to earth with rare gifts, with rare talents. And one of them, for our purposes in Namibia, is Tatekuru Shafiishuna Nujoma. He walked ahead of a nation that was not yet born, held the torch, which only meant that there was a future for this country. Not only did that torch illuminate the road ahead, it kept hope alive. It gave the future meaning, and it injected in us courage to think about tomorrow. I join the multitudes of people, both in Namibia and beyond our borders, who are not mourning the passing of Tatekuru Nujoma, but celebrating, as it were, saluting this illustrious son for what he meant for us in Namibia and the world. There comes a time when we pause, as we do today, not to cry, not to lament, not to mourn, but to celebrate the illustrious life of this extraordinary human being by which we were blessed by the fact that he lived amongst us, dwelt amongst us, taught amongst us, and to us who were children, inspired by him greatly day in and day out. In a moment like this, we pause to remember, if you permit me, the words of one of the most celebrated African-American writers by the name of Maya Angelou, who wrote, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." So today, we remember how Tatekuru Nujoma made us feel when he struggled to enter portals of the world to represent us at the time when we did not have a name, at the time when our world was symbolized by hopelessness, restlessness, helplessness, and meaninglessness. When we did not have a name, Nujoma went ahead and knocked. My friends, you cannot quite appreciate how difficult it was for him to knock on doors in Algeria, Egypt, Indonesia, and people would come out, these great majesties, swimming in oil and wealth. Where do you come from? And he would say, from Southwest Africa. I said, what is that? Where is that? And he would say in a very humble voice, it's a small country next to South Africa. It was not easy. Yet, he plowed ahead, moved ahead, marched ahead, represented us to the extent that if you speak about international law today, Namibia is a living case of international law. We can never forget how Nujoma made us feel. So I'm very, 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 very proud to be a Namibian, very grateful to live today, to witness the pouring of love and solidarity towards the Nujoma and the Kondombolo families. As you mourn, you are not alone. I can assure you the whole world feels the absence of Tatekulu Nujoma. A great deal has been said about this larger-than-life personage. All I can and must do is amplify and punctuate the essence of Nujoma in our life. At times like this, we call to mind what we know about what Nujoma did in the world. At times like this, we call to mind not the mistakes and the errors and the shortcomings that he was accused of. At times like this, we call to mind not his weaknesses and yes, at times, his angry words of admonition by which he taught us to love ourselves more and more deeply. At times like this, we call to mind what it means to be a Namibian. At times like this, we call to mind that which he stood for, that can make us all feel comfortable. You will remember, not only did he mobilize and mortgage international solidarity to know who we are, small as we are, but glorious, powerful. We have moral power. Nujoma carried our name. Nujoma was our face. At times like this, we hear his voice telling us, there is no issue stronger than the tissue of love. No cause more holy than a palm outstretched in the run of generosity. We hear him say, I am not in heaven. I am here, hear me. I am in you, feel me. I am of you, need me. I'm with you, be with me. Only through kindness will you please me. And this Nujoma has given Namibia a language that teaches us that at times like this, we need to turn to one another and love ourselves, because that is what Nujoma taught us. You will recall he would say, when a people are united, striving for one purpose, they can only emerge victorious. At times like this, we punctuate, amplify, put the volume up on that which makes us better human beings. We may be a small nation. You see, my friends, I met Tatekul Nujoma 40 years ago in New York when I was a graduate student at Columbia University. I was taken to him by my political teacher, Theo Ben Gurirap. May his soul rest in peace. And just after independence, I was an international journalist for an American national television. So I came to interview Tatekul Nujoma. And I interviewed him several times in New York. And when I went to the University of South Africa, UNISA in Pretoria, I, together with our High Commissioner, Shapo Kaukungwa, orchestrated a visitation by President Nujoma to UNISA in Pretoria. And Nujoma was the first head of state of a liberated African country to address the university community in Pretoria. After that, we subsequently met at different occasions where he was the teacher, the father, and I, the student of politics. Ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to be grateful for, thanks to people like Nujoma and his peers. We have so much to be proud of, thanks to those who worked with him. I cannot fail to mention the 72 founding fathers and mothers who drafted and crafted for us a constitution which is second to none in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a future beckoning. If you look at Tatekul Nujoma now, he's looking down on us with his signature smile, asking us, what are you going to do to make this country, this Africa, this world better? Again, how do we make one another feel? At times like this, when we have the privilege, when we have the liberty, when we have the freedom, when we have the space, and we have the infrastructure, we have the wherewithal, we have the love, we have the gifts, we have the capacity, and yes, the soil on which to meet. By that I mean, brothers and sisters, try to imagine how it feels to be in Gaza, in Palestine. This is what Nujoma worried about. He would say to us as students, while we celebrate our joy and happiness here, we remember those in Palestine. Nujoma would say, we are a gift of international solidarity. My friends, I do not know about you, but I'm not going to study war no more.
Thank you very much, Professor Joseph Disho. Indeed, a very powerful message, well crafted, well contextualized academically. Once more, thanks for that message. The next item on the agenda is the message from our traditional leaders. Those who are present here. So the first message is from Hompa Alphonse Kaundu. Murekindi mbuti zezo kwa mako kwa kazitu pa mundiro kwetu kwa mbunza Hompa Alphonse Kaundu.
Morokeni mbunga zoruguo nifumadeke minista wetu nifumadeke famili zotate na uyoma fumadeke waporosi wetu wakwaita wetu ame mumma tumbrangsi amenya mehompa Alphonse Kaundu na karako nombudi zo supi ezinani gawako kom president wetu sema na uyoma kukwamba apatwa vareka kuzogera nendi panazire muspundi so hompa mo 2001 mora ngatukara nendi Kenya pa mo igongi nokuwiza konombara yaro ame kwa divas president gwetogu na uyoma kwa mfanekera nga Jesus ogugawizire azore wananzona wenye no waungami na wenye kapiga upisireko wamu na uyoma ose kwa mdiwire ngo wao mpasi president kwetu na uyoma kwa kulira pampo zomarudi getu ga Afrika kwa kere eharo unene kwa marudigo wa hompa Kenya pa kwa haire kupura kena eya kupita mo marudigo wa hompa tani dioro kasi Kenya pa gesene taka tagendi wale mo Namibia wale taka paturura mbero zongandi nditazi ko irugana ko ninke imo yomo Namibia wahara kusimba no wahompa bazeko kumwe no wa minister vendi tani dioro kasi mo 2003 watuzigidire wahompa natu venye omu Namibia tuze nendi tukadike emanyara mandume ko ihore ipo tukatunde nendi tsimbe tukazinendi kondiwa tukalie mzuwa tani twakatengwireko ponaka mwene tukagwanekere na president de Sandu papa twakadikire emanya lyahompa mandume ko ihore asi President Nujoma mumu wakumtangasi muntu ndi mugara ogu apiri kutengura konyima. Tani diworo kasimo 2045 twazireko meeting ko venduka kondangozo waompa moraga Kenya pangatu zikondangozo wampa pezu waliokuhurira na uyoma kuzigidamo waompa wamwe akazogere nawo akakupuresi kosirongo soge inke umya singe ya karako. Tani diworo kasi twazirezu walimwe kosigongi tazigida wagavana na venye omo Namibia tazigida waompa na venye twatundu kosigongi tukuzeko State House. Kenye gavana kwa kampulire sto unyunga komehozo waompa wogyo muwakara na musirongo otandele njasi musirongo soge ininke na nye kwa kugenda po nawan vantu kwa paruka nawan maudigu kwasige gakaramu nye gavana gakona kuunyunga komeho zowaho mpavendi o gakara nawo suruosi mweta ndiworo kashapagat pulire ngowa kawango suruose suruna gavana karupu vura idiworo kesi inke gaga pulire nyapa gaga pulire ngoso tamfatuirire maudigu gomo kawango makura moraseni amana pura gavana tapura hena waompa ahara kudivas eyaku unyunga gavana usirin mato maudigu mokawango isinge yakara maukawango nye apagat pulire so waompa esingan pira kudivarasi sirosi na tatuworo kedesi mvura zina motus 2005 undi 6 pena waunita wawiza unene mukawango vantu ngawa dipaga vantu kwa kuchwayuka momambo wakarare vantu kwa kuliata kono boma nyapa twaka njirira president kwetu na uyoma tuyi mtandasi president gumwe na katukele mtandasi ose mokawango kapitwa kurara vantu wachwayuka momambo vantu kwa kuliata kono boma mwazuvire na suruosi na sposkandu koko mbuku kwa tetagwire vantu munene makatana apagai zuvire presidenti kapipwa pita mazuwa tatu muwa kwaita na mukawango kawango mtima kwa tulire muwa kwaita nke gumwe gai mwene asinke ya horokere ipona mwene president na uyoma seneta hunyunga ininke tai zimo iruga na nawa awe apatwaka tengwire awe waunita wale kwa kagendera pepi na kuituka na wale vantu tani wakutunda mumba asi president kwetogu kapina tudiva singapina tumulira president gahere rudi kapiga kere si orudi mkwasinke na tuvenye kwa heta kansiri sene ndiworo kapaga kerage presidenti mokawango kwa kere mowa minister 6 hambo umwe tamekera mbuku udogoroko kwangali kapusu wa minister gona wa minister wene uwakere momu moweri wamwe sere John Mtoro mwere omukuvura karerenge umbanga nyawa minister osene sivasiki Desemba pasipata wawiza kofelofu pokiriki misa owa minister kuvare kakutamekera mbuku dogoro ukwangali vadingure nombara wapura kenyasi inke ya kuhoroka muirongo yao iponga akaigawe kwa president na uyoma asinga tusimono sininge sosuwa no singa tugawa maudigu getu stwareni ko parlamente no katandra be president asi ose mokawango maudigu getu gaga ndi ayo watu wetu kwa kulira yongandi nyena inyenga isikisemu. President na uyoma Kenya pake kwa hara agriculture. Nondima, senato mwinjire nendi ake kuzogera, unene unandima tani ikukunyunga yo ukwaita, makura. Kapingo msimwitira ya peke, ake kusimwitira yo ukwaita makura. Ndi nondima. Asina uyoma, President Gwina, tuwa diwire si, kapika pongora. Nasu ukuwarasi, kutame kapa tunduko kohamba. Wahompa, ipo wahura kuza kwa independence sene kwa wenduka za kuzi. Se marana wapawakere na uyoma kuninga sena independence. Wahompa na weye kuwazi gitana mpiri kwa wenduka ndikupi. Matuwa ge pangero nokta karara kono hotera. Nyepatanza ningesi ose mnomvura mrongo da pitipo tuti wakutandere si papara etu wale nyamoge mararo ga nyamoge oyo ya kuoroka wa minister wa idiwa asina uyoma kapina tiosho wa ompasi kapina tumlira guyetu zinyakuru etu okugadiwire nanaga karwire si ametanika zora bantu wange nikabature rupasa rumwe tupu kwa kurongora unene monombaranga gendi kapinga kira shame presidenti kapina kuza monombara ngazi adingure mombara tomu zogere nendi tanti oro kasibo 2002 22 tan 23 Kenya pa mekuza tukakare no spito setu ko wambo so wakurupe esa turapona njepo ezuwa limwe mo 2006 nikaingira nindi monzuko mwaturire nyeto monosi mpweni kwa kara munkundi nyemo kano mu kapito gazara si munkundi akara tani morora tapurange dina tani mkundu takundunge tani mburanga si ekondomboro simpe kwa kuwatuka pona nazuvwa mina nogwe na nusko ekondomboro ashe ekondomboro simpe kwa kuwatuka tara me president ogu mugara kapya tengura konyima awe tatuzogere pura tapura na inyemoka bokavango tapura ikunino mora apaga wizire mokavango Kenya pa wiza mokavango sene sigongi akaruka samokavango pomoho wakarukansa igongi kuinjira no wahompa kapa wareke tupuka tura sigongi no wantu gahana kowa kuinjira no wahompa apura kene tango si inge ya kupita mokavango asi so ninke singatupira kudivara singaturugane na president gutuna uyoma amekwa kuundirasi wakwetu wa Namibia tusikwateni sirongo nawe si tukwateni sirongo si tusigire president gutuna uyoma esigaka hepera esikaka ruiranga karara muwiza mvura kwa kuroka msose kwa kuduka mvura sene nga tukasizona gura tukasture mezome karunganga katupura ngaka tupura no wanona no nonte kurusi sirongo sigarwirire gapwire mkwene ni inge makusurugane nange sihana uke ndara turtengureni mumina gatukwatekerera uyomba tuture rudirumwe tupu osevo rudirumwe tupu kapiwa kutanda shokuru kwa tunda kupyo kwa tunda na tuvenye tukareni rudirumwe tupu nyaturugane ne kumwe tupu izona kugawa kwa membuti zange si aye tatekuru na uyoma nekorore wana uyoma askapis nyonelike mwazumbanesa ngo wahompa omuka wango tuwazumbane sa unene tatu diworoka omwa tuzogenga tuzogere nendi emnga tuunyunga nendi pili kurara ngesingendi kwa kumzuva simpe nengendi nendi okuunyunga kapinga tumdiwara dogoro kono mfade tu nimpandure.
Thank you very much. Tampandura kumbudi za mkumo, kumndiro kwa mbunza. Next on the program is the message from Hompa Sophia Njembwe Kanyetu from the Shambu Traditional Authority. Mureki wa kwa mako kuna katunda mundiro wa Sambu, Wankuru Hompa Sophia Kanyetu.
Muyendi tisilika kampuli tirenu ngoli nikadimbure likaro polio vandire dina vanche vanakaro pano mo mtu vana mtu enyaura vaambi vokuhoverera mumayuwa 8 Marsi 2025 sirongo nasi nche kwa karambukire muruguo mukonda yokuyuva mfa ya presidenti wetu wokuhoverera Dr. Nujoma. Mbudi yande nakara nayo anaimana kare hompa kaundu mukukwa mangolisi Dr. Nujoma omu akalire no mukafera ngasinka mpiti tidopampo siruosi nya vanane hompa Angelina matumbo libebe mbo vanakaro mspundi mwenyo wao upuimuke mbiri mukuyuva mu bantantilire no mkani monanga asipaka yanga muno Dr. Nujoma kapika piranga kuyenda kumbara akabadingure vikando viviri anayendi koyo kabadingura nene tupana ya muno rambangako nao mpova ya upiresidio so kuyenda kuvinduka wakamdingure ngoli akalire asi Dr. Nujoma kwa kalire mukurona afuma dikiro unene vampiti tivo pampo na muyuvusi naye umwe atundo muliralio uhompa kutwara kwetu kumpo yetu evina kumona na mchi mvura kuna kuroka unene mumpo yetu ngoli kavatantira ngasi hompa ndi hompa unanena na doroka kukaroka mvura mara siri mbio vinakoroko vantu kuna kara unene mutenda runchodi rwetu uri tunakuganda karunga naye kuna kuganda mema omanene Dr. Nujoma kwa kalire okwa mpire unene ukonentu wendi mbyaviruwanitire akalire uye unene nosinka soku mangurura sirongo limanguru kolino tunakuya jobwa na weno ntantani lyombiri noruhafo nokupira vita sininge sosi dido sakaliro mukurenga sinje first president wo sirongo sa Namibia aya mangure sino sirongo kapisa kalire sosi reru vana vituenyaura vantu na vancheya mukuya upalipange rongo liko vanya vakali romo aya turengo lilipangero mwendisi weni ngoli omwa pititira sirongo kwa kalire sininge sosi dito mara karunga kwa mpire ukone ntu unene mbya vitiki tiremo unene mukuamba mkango dodingi kundereko vanamana kari kuviyambaho mpaka undu ngoli koro asi kuna kumpameka ngori unene morwa liyuva litu linakaro kumeho litu nakahulilira kukatura ngoli Dr. Nujoma kumararo yendi ngasikakara sininge sosi dito kuvana likoro no vana na mkuru kadi wendi asi mukare ngoli munapama mulipuro asi karunga kwa tapanga uyenka kupa mwenyo wendi wa Dr. Nujoma upuimuke mbiri pandu.
Thank you very much, Ompa Sofia Mjembekanyetu. Tunapandwa kumbudi yenu ya mkumo. Dear Mauners, after enjoying your kind attention as Director of Ceremony, including the excellent and spontaneous cooperation of the speakers so far, permit me now at this juncture to request the Namibian Defense Force military band to give us an item and at the same time to send me on retirement as Director of Ceremony so that my co-director can take over and navigate the program up to the final and formal conclusion. Thank you. Okay.
my fellow director of ceremony, Patrick Haingura. I'm grateful that we have concluded the first part of our program, and I have to continue with very few items as per the program of the day. Honorable Dr. Albert Kawana, Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, and at the same time, the representative of the Chief Mourner, His Excellency, our President, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba. The bereaved family of the late, the family of Nujoma and the Kondombolo family, I respect the protocol as already established by my fellow director, Patrick Haingura. Dear mourners, the year 1989, by that time, some of us were learners in secondary school here in Rundu. We were so excited because it was the year of elections and we are going to receive better education immediately when Namibia is to become an independent country. Coming to see the president, the late Dr. Shafiishuna Nujoma, for us to get the news, the message, Namibia is indeed going to be free. We were so excited. Little didn't we know that on this day, the year 2025, we are going to mourn. We are going to be witnesses of his departure. The departure of the icon, the departure of the revolutionary leader, the departure of the visionary leader, the icon that has deliberated our country. It is indeed with profound sadness to stand in front of this very big audience to preside the program for the day. The late His Excellency, the President, Dr. Shafiishuna Nujoma, the Commander-in-Chief of the Liberation Struggle, the former President of the Swapo Party, the founding President of the Republic of Namibia, who led the struggle leading the Swapo Party. It's now time for the Swapo Party in this region, Kavango East region, to come and share the message on how the party is cherishing, witnessing, sharing with the mourners what His Excellency, the late Dr. Shafiishuna Nujoma has done. The Swapo Party Regional Coordinator, Comrade Otilie Shunduvi, to come and present the message on behalf of the Swapo Party, Kavango East region. Comrade Ottilie, may you come forward.
Director of Ceremonies, dear mourners, comrades and friends, Comrade Dr. Albert Kawana, the Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration and Safety and Security, also serving as the chief mourner today here, Honorable Governor Bonifacius Wagudumo, Governor of Kavango East, and Honorable Sirka Osiku, the Governor of Kavango West, ministers, Member of Parliament present, service chiefs, dignitaries and traditional leaders. So let me stand on the protocol that is already established by the Director of Ceremony. This is not an ordinary gathering. This is a moment of national reflection, a moment of profound remembrance, and most importantly, a moment to honor a leader whose very existence was dedicated to the liberation and development of this country, Namibia. We do not only mourn his departure, but we are celebrating the life of a leader whose sacrifice, resilience, and vision built the very foundation of the Namibia we call home today. To the Swapo party, the memorial service is more than just a commemoration. It is a reaffirmation of the founding principles, a tribute to the revolutionary spirit that birthed the great movement, and solemnly vow that the path he carved for us will never be abandoned. Comrade Sam Shafiishuna Nujoma was not just a leader. He was a very heartbeat of Swapo. He was the revolutionary who transformed our movement from a voice of resistance into a formidable rebellion force. He was the commander whose unwavering vision steered us through the most difficult and bloody chapters of our struggle. He was the strategist who understood that our fight was not only for independence, but for dignity, equality, and the rights of Namibians to determine their own future. His name will forever be written in the annals of history as the last torchbearer of the armed liberation struggle. A struggle that was long, bitter, and fraught with unimaginable sacrifice, yet one that led us to the freedom and democracy we enjoy today. for the Swapo Party. This memorial is a call to action, a call to remain steadfast in upholding the values of unity, self-determination, and development that Comrade Nujoma fought for. As we honor his memory today, we remind ourselves that the duty of safeguarding his legacy now rests on our shoulders. The best way to remember him is not only through words, but through actions, by continuing his work and fulfilling the vision he had for Namibia. Today, we say to our founding father, your struggle was not in vain. Your sacrifice was not in vain, were not in vain. And your vision for a free, just, and prosperous Namibia will never be forgotten. Dr. Sam Nujoma, the torchbearer of the liberation struggle. Many will describe Dr. Sam Shafiishuna Nujoma in different ways, as a fearless freedom fighter, and a statue politician, a Pan-Africanist, or a statement of extraordinary wisdom. And they will be all correct. However, if there is one legacy that stands above all, it is this. He was a torchbearer of Namibians' liberation struggle, carrying forward the dreams and aspirations of our forebearers who first resist colonial oppression. From the earlier resistance of leaders such as Chief Kaimumwe Nguvauva, Captain Hendrik Witbooi, Chief Samuel Maharero, Chief Mandume Yandemfayo, and Chief Ipumbuya Shilongo, Namibia's fight for freedom had already begun long before Swapo was formed. These early warriors ignite the flame of liberation, but it was Dr. Sam Nujoma who carried the flame to victory. It was Chief Hosea Kutako who saw the fire of leadership burning in young Sam Nujoma and blessed his journey to the United Nations to petition for Namibia's independence. From that moment, Dr. Nujoma never looked back. He knew that freedom will not come easily, and he dedicated his life to the cause of liberating Namibia from the colonial rule. His leadership, vision, selfless made him the face of Namibia's struggle. As the year passed and the colonial oppressor refused to concede, Dr. Nujoma made the bold decision to launch the armed liberation struggle on the 26th of August, 1966, a day that forever changed the course of Namibia history. Through the sacrifice of plain combatants, political detainees, and all those who supported the struggle, Swapo became the force that ultimately dismantled the chains of apartheid oppression. He was not a leader who commanded at a distance. He was on the front lines. From the liberation camp in exile to diplomatic engagements at the United Nations, he was tireless, relentless, and unwavering. Let us be clear. Dr. Nujoma did not only deliver independence, he delivered democracy, human rights, dignity to every Namibian. The fundamental freedoms we enjoy today, the right to vote, the right to free speech, the right to education, the right to land, the right to equal opportunity are all fruits of his selfless sacrifice. He ensured that Namibia will never be again be ruled by a foreign master, that every Namibia will be an equal citizens in their own land. His legacy of our inheritance, his struggle is our victory. His vision is our roadmap to a future prosperity, unity, and self-reliance. As we honor his life today, let us recommit ourselves to safeguarding what he fought for, ensuring that the ideas he dedicated his life to remain alive for generations to come. A leader of unification and traditional leadership recognition. Traditional leaders have spoken before me, and they have said it. Who Nujoma was with the traditional leaders, especially here in Kavango. After leading Namibia to independence, Dr. Nujoma faced yet another monumental challenge, unifying a people who had endured decades of oppression and colonial rule. He understood that nation building was not merely about political governance, but also about fostering inclusivity, healing old wounds, and ensuring that all Namibians felt seen and heard in the new national fabric. In his wisdom, Dr. Nujoma recognized that the true national cohesion to take place, the reconciliation has to go beyond symbolic gesture. He prioritized cultural identity as a cornerstone of the nation's rebirth, understanding that the strength of any nation lies in the recognition of its diverse roots of tradition. One of the most critical decisions of his leadership was the recognition and empowerment of traditional authorities, ensuring that this pivotal figure remain integrated to the social, cultural, and political life of the nation. Under Nujoma's presidency, an act of parliament was passed to restore traditional leaders' authority over communal land, while the Namibian constitution in Article 100 clearly states that all land belongs to the state. Dr. Nujoma knew that land is more than just a physical asset. It is symbolic of the heart of the people, a testament that their heritage and an essential component of governance in communal areas. The landmark decision allowed traditional authority to once again have the authority to manage communal land, a step that not only strengthened the connection between the people and their land, but also reaffirmed the role of traditional leadership in Namibia's development. Dr. Nujoma did not make the decision. He was not bound by legal obligations or pressure, but by a profound understanding of the broader implication of land and traditional authority in Namibian society. Director of Ceremonies, dear mourners, family. His leadership was driven by the belief that in order to foster unity, it was crucial to honor the heritage, the values, and the leadership structure that has shaped Namibia communities long before independence. Through this decision, traditional leaders were not sidelined or marginalized. Instead, they were elevated to a position of responsibility in the new democratic dispensation, playing an active role in both national governance and community development. This was not just a political move. It was an acknowledgement of the vital role traditional leadership continue to play in maintaining peace, order, and development at the grassroots level. Today, we recognize and honor his legacy. For without unity, cultural preservation, and the recognition of traditional leadership, Namibia would not have been able to move forward as one cohesive nation. The empowerment of traditional authority under Dr. Nuyoma's leadership continue to resonate in the communities that depend on them for guidance, wisdom, and governance. It remains a testament to the nation that true leadership does not seek to replace the old, but to build upon it, ensuring that the country's history, culture, and people are respected and woven into the fabric of modern national. Swapo's commitment to upholding his legacy. Comrades, fellow Namibians, today as the Swapo Party, we stand united in reaffirming our unwavering commitment to uphold the legacy of our founding father, Dr. Sam Nujoma. Dr. Nuyoma's principle of self-reliance, development, unity, and justice remain at the very core of the Swapo Party's vision for a prosperous Namibia. His leadership, marked by a resolute dedication to the principle of freedom and equality, continues to inspire and guide us as we work towards a brighter future for all Namibians. As a party, we are determined to continue the work he started by ensuring the vision of self-reliant and prosperous Namibia endures. We will tirelessly fight for the empowerment of every Namibia, making sure that the economic independence he fought so hard to secure is realized in the lives of our people. Economic freedom cannot exist without political freedom. We are committed to build an economy that benefits all, ensuring that every Namibian has access to the tools needed to thrive. In the line of Dr. Nuyoma's vision, we'll prioritize the strengthening of our education and employment sector, making education more accessible and relevant to the demands of a modern world. We understand that an educated, skilled, and self-sustained nation is the key to unlocking our collective potential. And we pledge to continue investing in the youth and future leader of this nation. Furthermore, we continue to preserve and celebrate our rich history and cultural identity, recognizing our traditions are not only a source of pride, but an essential foundation for building cohesive, united nation. We will ensure that our traditional authority remains active partners in governance, playing a vital role in ongoing development of our communities. This commitment to cultural preservation alongside progress is one of the cornerstones of our policy approach. Let us not forget that the greatest tribute we can give to Dr. Sam Shafiishuna is to protect upon the legacy he left behind. Let us honor his sacrifice by working together as Namibians of all backgrounds to continue the work of building a nation that is just, equitable, and prosperous for all. His ideals live on in us, and it is our responsibility to ensure that they are carried forward for future generations. As we move forward, let us remember that the future of Namibia is not merely continuant of the past, but is an elevation of Dr. Nuyoma's vision, a vision that is alive, relevant, and guiding us towards a future, towards a brighter tomorrow. When Dr. Nujoma was born, he cried for his arrival on this earth. While his family rejoiced for his arrival, he cried because he did not know what is waiting for him on earth. But today, the late founding president, father of the Namibian nation, is rejoicing peaceful, while the Namibian nation has joined his family, and we are crying for his departure. He is rejoicing because he knows that he has touched every Namibian's life for us to live in a peaceful country. May the soul of our late president rest in peace. Moyo watatekulu uturumuse musiraro.
Thank you, Comrade Otilie Sindui. The message is clear. The legacy left by His Excellency Dr. Sam Shafiishuna Nujoma, peace and stability is now our responsibility, a responsibility on our shoulders to sustain it. I now invite the Ndilimani group to give us an item. Ndilimani, are you ready? Thank you, Dilimani Group. Before we are to continue with our program, I have got one very important announcement to make. I have just received a message that a 9-year-old girl is missing. She is Teresia Mpande. She came here with her sister. The mother is Sipangera Hildeka Hilili. Kindly, if you are around here at the sports stadium, can someone bring her forward? The mother is worried, is looking for her daughter. She is missing as from 12. The mother could not see her daughter as from 12. Kindly, anyone who knows the whereabouts of this girl, please bring her forward. Thank you, Ndilimani, for those items. The late Dr. Sam Shafiishuna Nujoma, how we are praising him, a hero, a warrior, an icon that did not have any fear, leading the struggle to set Namibia free. And indeed, we are here celebrating his departure with confidence and proud that he has done his part. It is now my single honor to invite Honorable Dr. Albert Kawana, Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety, and Security, a representative of the Chief Mourner, His Excellency, our President, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba. May we all kindly rise. Tusikameni na tuwenye noko sports stadium onemwa hingire na mwenye skameni tango.
We remember our heroes who sacrificed their lives. We remember our heroes who sacrificed their lives.
Mbili tupu. Madiwi sogena to agavasi mkado na anazumbana. Edina liendi Teresia Mpande, mkado na gono mvurantane, age kuna wizako kukumwe na mkuru endi gomkadona, ozina Sipangera Hilde Kahilili. Sene speli ogu anam kavedako, tunakanderere, muturetereni omumotende tunakara, ozina gunabapwaga vanakara nosinka, asinampo mkadona anazumbana. Tunakanderere mureteni omumotende, mpandu sene mbudi zinazuvika.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Director of Ceremonies, Meme Kovambo Nujoma, founding First Lady and widow of the late founding President, Honorable Utoni Nujoma, Minister of Labor, Industrial Relations, and Employment Creation, the Nujoma and Kondombolo families, the children, honorable ministers and deputy ministers, my colleagues, the two honorable governors of Kavango East and Kavango West. In the interest of time, please allow me to stand by the protocol as already established. But now I have a dilemma. What more can we say, or can I say, regarding the founding father, when the whole day, speaker after speaker repeated exactly what we already know? However, please bear with me, because I'm representing the chief mourner. If I don't deliver the prepared statement, tomorrow you will likely refer to me as the former Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security. But if it was in my individual capacity, I could just say I concur with what has already been said. So please bear with me. It is with profound honor as I stand before you this evening, dear mourners, to deliver the statement of the chief mourner, His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, President of the Republic of Namibia. In the same vein, where possible, I will briefly share with you my fond memories I had with the founding president and father of the Namibian nation. Following the passing of His Excellency Dr. Sam Nujoma, President of the Republic of Namibia, as founding president and father of the Namibian nation, on the 8th of February 2025. The Namibian nation is mourning at all levels of our society, from the national, regional, local, community, right up to family and individual levels. In addition, SADC is mourning, Africa is mourning, and indeed the world is mourning. It is therefore common cause that our founding president and father of the Namibian nation touched the hearts of many. Today we are gathered here in Rundu, representing Kavango East and Kavango West, to mourn the icon of our revolution. As a leader who led us during the struggle for national independence, the founding president and father of the Namibian nation came to appreciate the contribution of his people who were born in all 14 regions of our republic. As Commander-in-Chief of the People's Liberation Army of Namibia Plan, whose fighters came from all 14 regions of our republic, it is only logical to create an opportunity for his fellow Namibians to bid farewell to the giant of our revolution. In addition, our founding president and father of the Namibian nation worked with his fellow leaders at various levels, it is only logical that his fellow Namibians and residents in our regions are afforded an opportunity to bid farewell to our political giant. Today, Kavango East and Kavango West regions are mourning with the rest of the nation. Today, the icon of the Namibian Revolution is here in Rundu to give an opportunity to the two regions to bid farewell to the political giant. Here in the two regions, there are notable personalities who were very close to our founding president and father of the Namibian nation. A number of fellow Namibians from these two regions have already narrated their experience when they interacted with our founding president and father of the Namibian nation. Indeed, you heard our hompas, first and foremost, how they interacted with our founding president and father of the Namibian nation, as well as from our honorable governor, on behalf of the two governors, namely of Kavango East and Kavango West. In addition, one of the freedom fighters of note and former plan combatant, Fumu Ewin Munika Mbambo of the Hambukushu community, has already narrated his experience with our founding president and father of the Namibian nation. A number of notables from these two regions were very close to our founding president and father of the Namibian nation. Among them are our late Hompa of the Kwangali community, Hompa Stentum Pasi, the late Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Mako Hausiku, the late Honorable Rosarian Gidinwa, the late Honorable Eria Lemi Moremi, the current Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Transport, Honorable Johnny Mutorwa, who worked directly in the office of the founding president and father of the Namibian nation, following the devastating drought of 1992, which affected our country. On this note, I can only say to our departed comrades from this region, may their souls rest in eternal peace. Indeed, there are quite a number of notables from these regions, like Honorable Petrina Haingura, former Deputy Minister of Health and Social Welfare, who was at one time Secretary for Women's Council of the Swapo Party. Comrade Eria Ngurare, who was at one time Secretary for Swapo Party Youth League, which includes the Pioneer Movement. And the late Comrade Skerete Mandema. The list is far too long, and in the interest of time, I can say all those who interacted with our founding president and father of the Namibian nation are also recognized from these two regions. Our founding president and father of the Namibian nation was a man of vision, before Namibia's independence and in his capacity as Swapo president, he traveled the world soliciting diplomatic and material support for the cause of Namibia's independence. As Commander-in-Chief of Plan, he solicited weapons from a number of countries. This made the plan one of the formidable fighting machines. With their bravery, discipline, patriotism, and determination, Swapo was able to wage an armed struggle for national independence for about 23 years. Plan was able to understand the tactics of the enemy and indeed to withstand the brutality of the apartheid colonial army, one of the best equipped army on the African continent at the time. Plan was able to withstand the military pressure because it was led by a patriotic giant in the name of Dr. Shafiishuna Nujoma, founding president and father of the Namibian nation, as well as the support of our people. Our founding president and father of the Namibian nation had a vision of an independent Namibia, and this has already been said by various speakers. It is for this reason that one of his passions was to ensure the education of our people, especially the youth. Prior to Namibia's independence, young people in exile were sent to various countries of the world for study. He lobbied to establish the United Nations Institute for Namibia, where a number of Namibians received their education, and today they are playing a pivotal role in the administration of our country. And here I can confirm that I'm one of the beneficiaries of this policy of our giant. As a student of the United Nations Institute for Namibia, today our Chief Justice was also a beneficiary. Today our Deputy Chief Justice was also a beneficiary. I can say Meme Pendukeni Ivla Itana was also a beneficiary. I can say a number of magistrates, a number of judges, the Auditor General, the former Inspector General, Comrade Ndeitunga, who was popularly known as the miniskirt by the press, they are all beneficiaries of this policy. And they allow me to salute our giant for this vision of education. Today, the largest portion of our national budget goes to education, a trend which started from the first national budget after our independence. He was determined to ensure that Namibia produces medical doctors, engineers, agriculturalists, lawyers, administrators, and many other disciplines. Today, his dream has become a reality. And you know, many Namibians, used to refer to this giant as a dreamer. And of course, the leader must dream. And then his dreams are put in action by his followers. You used to hear him saying, we need to build the roads from Zambezi going to Zonjupa, going to Enana, going way, up to the coast. From the north up to the south. Today, Namibia has the best roads on the African continent because of his dream. Our founding president, as you heard also from our home pass, and father of the Namibian nation, had a passion for agriculture. He realized that independence without food security was meaningless. It is against this background that one of the most visited regions during his lifetime was Kavango East and Kavango West. He promoted green schemes near rivers, and the two Kavango regions played a pivotal role in this regard. He understood that agriculture and the water go hand in hand. It is against this background that he was a staunch supporter of desalination, which he used to passionately refer to as desalinization. Every time he would call me, whether at the farm or at the coast, and say, Minister Kawana, my minister, together with your colleagues, you must promote desalinization in this country. Because water and agriculture, they go hand in hand. Now, when I was in the presidency as pioneer of the first Minister of Presidential Affairs and Attorney General, I was informed by my boss, His Excellency Dr. Ifike Punye Pohamba, that Comrade Kawana is my advisor in this office. We must first complete the projects left by Comrade Nujoma. During the tenure of His Excellency Dr. Ifike Punye Pohamba, we built a number of silos from Zambezi in Katima Muliro, here in Kavango East. We built silos in Rundu, in Ohangwena. We built silos in Oshkoto. We built silos in Omsati. We built silos. And during that time, all those silos were full to capacity. When we were hit by drought, we never used a single cent to buy food from outside. Those silos were used to feed our people. That is the vision which originated from our political giant, His Excellency Dr. Shafiishuna Nujoma. Comrade Nujoma was a strong advocate of national unity. He understood the concept of that unity, its strength. It is against this background that he passionately promoted the policy of national reconciliation. And this is the policy he promoted when our leadership was in Rwanda, the party Swapo leadership. And this is the policy he promoted when he came back to Namibia after about 29 years of exile. For the sake of peace and stability in our country, he understood that exclusion spells conflict, and inclusion spells harmony. It is for this reason that he encouraged national unity, hence his mantra, a united people striving to achieve a common good for all the members of the society will always emerge victorious. And this is what has been repeated several times. It is for this reason that inasmuch as we mourn our hero, we also celebrate his life. Indeed, as it has been stated already here, a hero does not die. It is only the body that goes back to dust, ashes to ashes. But the legacy of a hero does not die. A legacy of a hero lives on. It is against this background that we must be proud as a nation that we have inherited the legacy of Comrade Sam Nujoma, the legacy of our founding president and father of the Namibian nation, will always make Namibia one of the winning nations of the world. The legacy of our founding president and father of the Namibian nation is a compass of the Namibian nation. It's a compass of the Namibian nation. This compass will ensure that the Namibian nation does not lose direction. And this is the legacy we say it will endure forever if Namibia was to remain united, stable, peaceful, and prosperous. On behalf of the Namibian nation, the cabinet, my family, and indeed on my own behalf, once again, I extend our heartfelt condolences to Meme Kovambo Nujoma, Utoni Nujoma, the children, the Nujoma family, the Kondombolo family, and all the mourners of this republic. May the soul of our founding president and father of the Namibian nation, Dr. Sam Shafiishuna Nujoma, rest in eternal peace.
Thank you indeed, Dr. Albert Kawana, Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, for delivering the message of tribute on behalf of His Excellency, the Chief Mourner, the President of the Republic of Namibia. Inclusion spells harmony. Exclusion spells conflict. That is the message that we need to carry, that we need to ensure that we sustain peace and sustainability, and all this can materialize if inclusion is exercised at each and every level of decision making. Before we are to move the vote of thanks, I would like to call upon the Ndilimani group, where you are, to give us an item. Ndilimani group.